Coming up this week, off-screen.
Spider-Man comes home to Marvel.
Terror Comes at Night for Joel Edgerton.
Shirley MacLaine has the last word.
Tommy Morris is all about his honour.
Catherine Deneuve meets the Midwife.
Terrence Malick goes song to song.
Millennials power a human surge.
Stephen Dorff is an American hero.
British Mumblecore brings a change in the weather.
And we encounter the only bank small enough to jail.
All those to come and more off-screen.
This is Off-Screen. Off-Screen. With the latest film news and reviews, this is Off-Screen, the on-screen radio show.
Welcome to Off-Screen, I'm Van Connor.
I am Kase Allen.
So, Mr. Allen, it's been a big week. There's lots of film stuff happening. There's news to cover. There's reviews to do.
As usual.
There's a top 5 to scroll through at our leisure.
Oh, it's kind of changed as well.
And it has actually
I feel
changed
like
this week,
it's been, rather than the same, it's been quite static.
It has.
Yeah.
So, of course, we need to start with some news, and I understand we've lost someone of cinematic significance.
Yeah, one of our own, in a way.
One of our own, yeah.
Sadly, Barry Norman passed away.
Barry Norman. Oh,
yeah. Who we all know from BBC's film show.
It's true. I think officially it's film night, and they just replaced night with whatever the year is.
So it was film 76, and then he would say things like, I'll be back next year when it'll be predictably film 77.
I remember that indeed, yeah. Well, the thing is, he was the longest serving host of that programme.
Yeah, was it after him, then it was Jonathan Ross?
Then it was Jonathan Ross. I think he did it from, is it 72 to 98, I think
is the... really big run.
Really long run.
Yeah, is Claudia Winkleman still doing it now, or is she...
No, she's officially left now.
She's officially left?
Left, yeah.
So Van Connor might be next.
If only. Hey, they wouldn't hire Kermode. I don't fancy my chances. So
why wouldn't they hire Kermode?
It's not that they wouldn't. I don't think he was ever really considered for it.
He's got other stuff going on.
He claims he was never considered for it. So, but no, so Barry Norman passed in his sleep. This is the quote: he passed in his sleep, which I think is that's such a nice sort of a way to go, in your sleep. And I think
that's the way you'd prefer to go. Like it's better than being like shoved off a cliff.
That's the way you gingerly pass, and I feel that's the most applicable for Barry Norman, who he was like.
Was he known to be a gingerly fellow?
A gingerly. The man sold pickled onions. I mean, you know.
Yes.
His own branded pickled onions in branches of Waitrose. Yeah. And I do hope that business keeps going, because I can think of nothing more amusing than the idea that he leaves behind.
You think it's like a Newman's Own?
Newman's Own. But if he leaves behind a legacy of, and I think it was Stephen Fry that said, great film criticism and of course pickled onions. Which,
lest we forget.
That's really it. But yeah, it's passed.
That's very sad.
That's very sad for me. I grew up in the Middle East watching Barry Norman on BBC World. And BBC World. And this is back in the day before, the internet availability of trailers and things like that. And Barry Norman...
he would have kind of been your window to...
Well, that's the thing.
To movie world.
There were films that you'd never heard of and you'd never seen trailers for that you would experience for the first time via a clip on a Barry Norman show. And on film
Kids
94.
Don't know they're born.
Don't know they're born, do they?
With your YouTubes and your music television.
I remember the very first footage I ever saw of Star Trek Generations being through Barry Norman's review, and it was where Kirk dies at the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, spoiler.
Stargate as well.
It's not much of a spoiler, because it kicks off.
Literally how the movie begins. Yeah.
And Scotty's there.
And Scotty's there. And,
I'm going to rewatch that.
There's fun for the whole family.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But fare thee well, Barry Norman, and we'll it's sad to see you go, but let's leave him with his catchphrase, and why not? But so we shall continue, and why not? So should we do a review real quick?
And why not? So you saw It Comes at Night, which I really, really cannot wait to see. Okay,
spoiler alert, this is one of my favourite films of the year.
I saw your list.
Yes. Because the social networking thing this week is the best films for the first half of the year.
Yeah, it's gone a bit mad, hasn't it?
Gone a bit mad. And you were saying, we're going to have an argument at the end of the year.
We're going to have fisticuffs.
No, because it's my personal me-time films of the year.
To which I said a certain joke, which we can't edit.
Yeah. It's not a Pornhub playlist, don't worry. That's all Blair Williams. Anyway, so It Comes at Night, which is the second effort from Krisha director Trey Edward Schultz. Krisha, incidentally, is, I believe, coming to Netflix very shortly. Worth checking out. It Comes at Night is very much, it feels like an almost Jeremy Saulnier type film. It has that sort of Jeremy Saulnier.
A bit like Green Room or...
Green Room. It's horror with a mumblecore aesthetic, if you can imagine that. I mean, Green Room, so we have. Right, so the idea is it's not post-apocalyptic. It's in the woods. A virus has come out. It has, wiped out certain amounts of humanity. People are surviving whichever means they can. You have a set of parents, Joel Edgerton and Carmen Ejogo from Alien Covenant, and what else is I can't remember what else she's from now. And they're living in a cabin in the middle of the woods with her teenage son, Kelvin Harrison Jr., and one day they encounter a family like themselves who are just looking to survive, and they agree to let them move in. And the arrival of this family exposes the fracture and the fragility of how they are surviving and what it takes really to function in this new status quo. We have a clip.
The way we like to run things, and we think it's important. I think it's important to keep a routine and stay busy. Oh, God, I'm sure I'm forgetting a few things.
There's plenty of time to work out all the details. Yeah.
Overload. Well, just settle in.
Yeah.
And we'll get working in the morning. And welcome.
That's perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, buddy. He's hiding.
Why are you hiding?
Imagine, if you will, that someone took Jeremy Saulnier and combined his style with John Carpenter, and then they applied that to what is effectively Cabin Fever by way of The Mist. And
those are all things I like.
They are, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right, okay, so you'll love this. This is all about atmosphere, all about tension, and all about sort of character-driven suspense. There's no big bad. The big bad is just the world, as it were.
Yeah, it's the situation.
And it's human error. It's all really about human error and how human error sort of it just exposes how prone we all are to just embrace our baser instincts. It is really something. The show is stolen completely by Kelvin Harrison Jr. as the teenage son who brings this sort of tumultuous teenage sort of, not intensity, but I would say vulnerability to this already sort of simmering situation. You've got the other couple who are Chris Abbott and Riley Keough, who seems to be getting everywhere
She's
lately.
everywhere. She's quite ubiquitous, isn't she?
She is, isn't she? And she's like her granddad. She just gets everywhere. And it's really something. It is so well realised, so stylish. It has the look of, this new wave of horror director that we've embraced in the last few years, like, for instance, who was it? It was the Babadook. Offhand, now I can't remember.
No. Was it Catherine? I've forgotten her surname.
I forget as well, but
Australian director. She was amazing.
The look of something like the Babadook, and It Follows as well, and of course Blue Ruin and Green Room.
Yeah.
And given that there is a red door featuring prominently in this, I can't help but feel that it would have made a great trilogy capper for Jeremy Saulnier.
Well, his next film hasn't got red in the title. Which has let me down.
I know. And it's a spy film. Should have been Red Sparrow.
Should have been Red Sparrow. just make Red Square again.
Exactly.
Yeah, just do that.
No, I really dug this. This is a film that, as I say, it works very much for people seeking a tense drama, but it has appeal for mainstream horror fans, I think, as well. And you watch it and you do feel the build quality to it. And what's that?
Jennifer Kent.
Jennifer Kent. Thank you.
Where did I get Catherine from?
Because you just did Catherine Deneuve in the...
Maybe that's it.
That's what it is.
I just got Catherine.
Or 20 years later, you're still thinking about Kathy Ireland. Is that what it is?
I don't know who that is.
Do you not?
No.
My God, you're young.
To Google I go.
To Google you go. She was the love interest in National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1. There you go.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, see? Right. But no, It Comes at Night, I thoroughly recommend. It is really worth checking out. Say, for the drama fans, but also for the mainstream horror fans as well. You both camps easily pleased. And I do think Trey Edward Schultz, definitely someone to watch after this. I say, it is, for all intents and purposes, it's going to work for the Green Room fans, I think, as well. In fact, that's something you enjoyed. You're going to be in good stead with this one. But you're a big Green Room fan, aren't you?
Huge.
See, we can't watch it in my house because Lola goes nuts. Every time the dog...
Yeah.
Every time
there's
the dogs
There's a
come
lot
up.
of dogs. Yeah.
So Lola...
Doesn't she go mad for dinosaurs as well?
Dinosaurs, dogs, horses...
most things on four legs.
Most things on four legs.
Cars as well, planes, people talking... The wind.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And of course I live across from a church, so every time someone walks by, yeah.
She shouts blasphemer.
She does indeed, yeah. My dog's an atheist, that's what it is. Right, so...
that sounds like a great film. My Dog the Atheist.
My Dog the Atheist.
Yeah. Oh, somebody
starring Tim Allen.
and he becomes the dog.
Well, yeah, because that already happened in a movie, didn't it? That was the Shaggy Dog.
The Shaggy, yeah, of course
Shaggy
it was.
Dog,
Yeah,
remember that?
for Disney, that is a Disney Channel film and he's still
Oh
made.
my god! Right, so let's plug the podcast real quick. We're getting the hang of this digital bling thing, by the way. I've gotten it down to a science. It's half an hour every week to whack that on there. So if you download the podcast edition on Acast, you get all the images and the trailers and everything. And it's pretty cool.
We
to
sometimes
use.
put up funny pictures. We put up pictures of Nick Cage because why not?
Oh, every time we have the moment of Cage, there's an image of Nick Cage.
Of course
You got to do that.
Yeah.
This week's you're going to love, by the way, because it's an almost offhand live moment during a Q&A. So
They seem to be our bread and butter right now. Just
really are. We've
the
used all the
interviews
films. We've used all the films.
No, we haven't. There are 1,000 films.
There are 1,000
We've
more
not
to
had
go.
1,000 episodes.
But yeah, so pop along to iTunes, go on Deezer, tune in, just type in off screen, and free podcast edition there, extended, enhanced post credits. There's a lot more show to come.
We'll just ramble.
We do ramble. But of course, whilst you're, searching us out online, go along to onscreenfilm.com and go in the competition section, and boy, have we got some swag for you. Because we've got above and beyond lately, guys. There's tons for everyone.
Yeah.
There's
No matter what you're into.
No matter what
Especially
you're
if you're into Zip and Zang and the Marble Gang.
Zip and Zang?
Zip and Zag and the
Zip and
Marble
Zang
Gang.
is that an Oriental themed Goonies movie? That's what it is.
It's the spin-off.
So you can win a Zip and Zap and the Marble Gang on DVD, which is
I was one letter away.
You were one letter off, two technically, which is that's a Spanish language Goonies. You can go and win Age of Shadows, the Korean spy thriller. We're giving that away on DVD. We're giving Hidden Figures away. You might have heard of that one.
I saw it. I've seen it twice.
You saw it before me, didn't you?
I did, yeah. That very rarely happens.
Very rare happens. So Hidden Figures, we're giving that away on DVD. And this week, we've started running a promotion for pop-up screens in London. They've got this summer season. There's a whole list of what they're doing on our site. And it's pop-ups outdoor screenings at like different parks and venues around London. And they're showing everything from like La La Land and Deadpool to The Big Lebowski and Dirty Dancing and Ghostbusters.
Everything
you can think of.
Yeah.
Although, suspicious lack of Christmas films, just saying. And we're giving away...
I'm sure that will be coming.
I'm sure. Yeah. We're giving away tickets to that as well. So I say pop along to onscreenfilm.com competition section and just put in your details for a completely randomised chance to win. Win some swag. We're not asking questions, just put your details in. And I think that's fair enough.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
And we're back. Bit of tubular bells in new metal mode.
Bit of metal exist.
We should credit our cover musician, by the way, who is an Irish YouTuber by the name of Nstens1117, and he gives us.
That was my
permission
dad's name as well.
Yours too. I have an uncle, Nstens1117.
Yeah.
Yes. We call him Uncle Stans.
Uncle Stans. I'm a big fan of.
We love his work.
Absolutely.
He's got
carry on more.
Yeah, we just have complete coverage
More
to
of
use
that,
these.
less of everything else.
Oh, exactly. But so go along to YouTube, go on, check out NSTENS1117. He covers all sorts of video game themes, TV show themes, movie themes, and also he's got Patreon on there, so you can donate to him and encourage his fine work, which we would very much like it if you did.
We are fans.
Because then there's more themes for us to use.
Exactly. Just help some brothers out.
So, help me help you, or help me help him. There you go. So, should we do the box office top 5 and get that done for the week?
I think we better had.
Let's have some fun.
Number 5.
Wonderful Woman.
Wonderful Woman. She is a wonderful woman as well. I got to rewatch it this last week, and I was very, very happy I got to. I liked it even more the second time, I've got to admit.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing it that second time.
I was a big fan. I think Gal Gadot doesn't get the credit she deserves for what actually is really a star-making turn.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Absolutely is.
She's incredible in it. As I've been saying to a lot of people, she is wondrous.
She is wondrous.
Would you believe it? Yeah. I've been saying to a lot of people that I just feel like she's not had the material in the Fast and Furious films.
No, imagine that.
What was the other one? Keeping Up with the Joneses. And
let's not forget 999.
Well, let's not forget
999.
Yeah, so now she's finally got something worthy of her.
She's got something to sink her teeth into, and she's great in it, and the movie is far and away the best of the DC installments. Chris Pine, very good in it as well.
Yeah, and his chemistry is amazing.
Can I give a shout out to my boy Saeed Tagmaoui as Sammy, because he's not really got any credit in this movie, and he's great. He's got a really poignant moment in the middle in which he says, "We're all fighting our own battles," and I really love that moment. Because he says, "Oh, I wanted to be an actor, but I was born the wrong colour, and we were all fighting around battles." Oh my god, that's a good moment.
Yeah,
and also
I think that's something else about that casting, isn't it?
Yeah, and also how
very diverse.
How brilliantly pitched is that in that movie? So yeah.
Number 4.
All Eyes on Me.
Right, that's not a garish use of a sound effect. I did that deliberately because that's how the movie begins. The title, All Eyes on Me, and a gunshot.
How many gunshots are in that film? I could imagine a lot.
A fair few.
Yeah.
But
Decent amount.
right, it's the worst rap biopic since Notorious, which, as you can imagine, is a pretty low bar.
But
And they have got the same guy.
I was
playing
just going to say, Biggie is in this, isn't he?
Same guy plays Biggie, yeah. And well, let's see. It's dull. It's uninteresting. It goes on for about an hour longer than it needs to, and cause I'm sure it's about 2 hours 20 or something like that. It goes on an hour longer than it needs to.
2 hours 20,
something like that. And it just feels
Isn't The Last Night about that as well?
something like that. Yeah, it just feels like a checklist of events that happened to Tupac. There's no sense of who he was, why he did anything he did.
Releases, Snoop cameo, Suge Knight,
did Dre appear? Check that.
Jada Pinkett,
Sugar Knight in that.
Drive by.
Yeah, exactly. pretty
Credits.
much. Yeah, exactly. They don't even mention the fact that he was at Tyson fight.
Really?
He's just in Vegas for the hell of it. Yeah. So I mean, it's rubbish. It's complete rubbish.
Just watch Straight Outta Compton again if you want to watch that biopic, because that is great.
Exactly.
Number 3.
That Robot film. Robot Wars 5, The Quest for More Money.
It really is. Well, this is the end of one chapter of the Transformers, the beginning of another, it seems, because, the end
Yeah,
of
the next chapter is the negotiation between Michael Bay's agents and Paramount trying to get him back for a 6th one.
Yep. And let's be honest, this is a movie that really pushes the boundaries of what is and isn't acceptable in a Hollywood movie. I mean...
Hey, there's no Romeo and Juliet clause in this one.
There is no Romeo and Juliet clause in this. There's also no T.J. Miller, and they've replaced him with Jared Carmichael this time around, because we're just going through the cable comedians.
You just go for cable comedians, yeah.
We are. And
who are we going to get next? Get Zach Woods? Or...
I'm always intrigued, actually, to see who makes it to be the next name on the exploited young actress charter. And this time around, it's Laura Haddock.
Yes.
So Star-Lord's mum turns up as
Quoza,
the world's least convincing Oxford history professor or historian.
And you know so many.
So many. I mean, this actually shows you. The great thing is, it gives you an insight into the mind of Michael Bay, because in Michael Bay's mind, an Oxford history professor happens to be a sexed-up-looking nymph in hipster glasses and a pencil skirt, and who talks about the rippling biceps of men throughout history. And yeah, I mean, the fact that there's then a sequence in which Mark Wahlberg mansplains Arthur C. Clarke's Laws of Robotics to her, and then brags about not having any student loans, is kind of inconsequential afterwards.
You can't say anything about Cade Yeager. He's an inventor.
And we get that line again.
We get that.
It's awful.
So it's amazing.
It's awful, but you know what? These movies have always been awful. If you've enjoyed them up to now, you know what? You're going to enjoy this as well. So
Anthony Hopkins is having a ball.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins is enjoying it. So you know what? Take one for A-Hop. There you go.
Your name's Baby. B-A-B-Y, baby.
Number 2.
Oh, yes. Baby Driver.
I feel like you didn't need to introduce that one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You've seen this twice, haven't you?
I saw it for the second time yesterday.
Excellent. Your wife really loved it, didn't she?
She absolutely adored it.
Right. Okay. I really liked it. I was harsh on it because I always feel the need to be harsh on everything at first. It's one of those.
Unless Tony Stark's in it.
Unless Tony Stark's in which case I'm all ears.
Exactly.
Because of the glowing reviews I've given Iron Man 2 over the years. But and
That's a good point.
And Age of Ultron as well. But so yeah, I'm biased in that way. But no, I really liked Baby Driver. I thought it had panache and it had style and it had verve and it had energy and it had really just this likability, this slickness, this cool that really sort of wins you over. But the thing I realised that makes it work so well is everyone's on the same page. The tonal consistency of it just carries throughout. Every single member of this cast is aware of the pace and the style and the tone of the film. And every song is in line with that style. Every action beat works with that style. And that's it. So
that's kind of what it's been sold on, really, isn't it? The
really
soundtrack matching every single beat of the film, and it works so well.
With that in mind, I'm going to say the thing I really don't want to have to say out loud, which is, you know what?
What's that?
Edgar Wright, really, you did an amazing job, Edgar. And... Well played, sir.
Golf claps all around.
Well played, Edgar. You know what? You earned it, pal.
Number 1.
Despicable Me 3. or Despicable 3, as it should have been called.
Should have been Despicable Me 3, shouldn't it? Because that's how it's
Despicable
stylized.
Me 3.
Me 3. But so you're not a fan of the series? I am.
But you're not a massive fan of this one.
I'm not a massive fan of this one, but I'm not a massive fan of the second one either, because I think that these films, Minions spin-off aside, it seems like Despicable Me had a very specific remit, which was to be this great, considerate, emotionally hefty animated film about parenthood and applied to a supervillain. And then somewhere along the line, they seem to have thought, actually, this is a spy series. And they've forgotten about the emotional side of it.
Well, the only one I've seen is the first one, and then I thought the first one was fine. Enjoyed it, actually.
And then, obviously, the Minion meme started, and you decided you hated your ass.
That's it, yeah, exactly. When distant cousins are putting things on Facebook that have never ever been uttered by a
Minions
minion.
talking about Brexit, you know.
Yeah, exactly. A Union Jack minion. No one needs that.
No one needs that. No one needs that at all. But I liked it. I didn't like it anywhere near as much as the first one, though. I mean, it's fine. It's a disappointment because I really, really like the first one, but it's not as good as either the first one or the Minion spin-off.
It sounds like everyone is having a good time in it, though.
Well, yeah, but if I was getting paid what they were getting paid, I'd have a good time as well.
That's a good point. If you were Julie Andrews, getting Julie Andrews money.
Yeah, the old adage is, the more fun you can tell the cast are having making the film, the less fun it is for the audience to watch. And
case in point, The Last Night.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Ocean's 12 apparently was a non-stop party on the set, and then you watch the film and you think, don't get that myself, but okay.
I've still not finished that. Every time I've tried to watch it, I've fallen asleep.
Give me some film news anyway, real quick. Go on, what we got? Just give me a 30-seconder. What we got?
30-seconder. Rupert Wyatt is going to direct Green Lantern Corps, and I'm sure he's going to drop out.
Of course he will.
He's got something of a tendency to sign on for these big gigs. And then leave.
Yeah, he's doing this one straight after he finishes Gambit. So
exactly. Yeah.
He's basically a placeholder director for what is being pitched as Lethal Weapon in space,
which I'm on board with.
I'm on board with that.
That's
Apparently,
great.
It's going to be Hal Jordan in his 40s and a 20-something military sniper version of John Stewart
/ Tyrese Gibson.
Well, this is the thing. If he's going to be in his 20s, can it really be Tyrese anymore?
It's a good-looking man.
Good-looking man indeed. And he does keep his youth. Yeah. I don't know. Who's the kid who played Will Smith's son in Independence Day Resurgence? He's still looking for a vehicle.
I think he's good, and I've forgotten his name. Just get John Boyega. John Boyega.
Isn't he Usher something Usher or something? He's another Usher, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's not
related.
Not the one and only Usher.
Not the Usher.
Not Usher.
Not the Usher. He's a Usher.
Usher.
Yeah, he's an Usher.
Not like Cedric.
He's Usher B or Busher.
Busher.
That's what he'll be from now on. We don't know the actor's name, but he's Busher.
I feel like out of all that, we didn't really talk about the news.
No, but you know what? Who cares? Because he's going to drop out, so it doesn't matter.
I would wager that he will drop out, but I do like him because obviously Rise of Planet Apes was great.
It was. And the Gambler remake. I like the Gambler remake.
I like that as well, absolutely. Marky Mark is great in it.
Marky Mark playing a professor, because totally believable.
He can be an inventor, he can be a professor, he can be anyone as long as he is from Boston.
He can. Can he be Spider-Man, though? Because we've got to review him next.
Let's talk about Spider-Man.
Okay, so Spider-Man Homecoming, which you've seen, I've seen.
I'm literally just finishing.
Yeah, we both loved. Yeah. So spoiler alert there. Okay, so several months after the events of Captain America Civil War, Peter Parker trying to get on with his life as Spider-Man, but he's basically distracted by this desire to be an Avenger. That's all he wants. He wants the Avengers to call him up for, as he puts it, his next mission. And of course, this starts to create problems for him in his day-to-day superheroics because he's too distracted. It causes problems with his social life and his school extracurriculars because he keeps having to zip off for what he refers to as the Stark internship. And then basically, because all this is going on, he basically he's chomping at the bit for something to really sink his teeth into. And he gets that in the form of the Vulture, played by Michael Keaton, who happens to be a disgruntled former cleanup worker whose job it is to recover all the alien technology from how the movie begins, the Battle of New York. And of course, he's taken all this alien technology and he's basically built he turned it into his own little arms selling business. He's got a little crew and they sell arms. And Tony Stark tells him to back off. There's people who deal with that, like the FBI. They deal with that kind of stuff. It's beyond superhero remit. So leave it alone. Of course, Peter Parker can't leave well enough alone. And well, I guess what happens there then. Here's a clip.
Nothing! You're the Spider-Man from YouTube.
I'm not.
You were on the ceiling.
I wasn't. Ned, what are you doing in my room?
Man, let me in. You said we're gonna finish a Death Star. She doesn't know.
Nobody knows. Well, I mean, Mr. Stark knows because he made my suit, but that's it.
Well, Tony Stark made you that. Are you an Avenger?
Yeah, basically. Dude, you can't tell anybody about this. You gotta keep it a secret.
secret wife.
But you know what she's like. If she finds out people try and kill me every single night, she's not gonna let me do this anymore.
Okay. I'll level with you. I don't think I can keep this a secret. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I can't believe this is happening.
So Tom Holland there, and what's his name? Joey Batalon as Ned.
As Ned Leeds, yeah.
And right, so I absolutely love this movie. It's so much fun. It is the most fun Spider-Man movie.
I can't wait to see it again.
Same here. I'm going again in IMAX tomorrow because I was shown it in 2D. In 2D in Sony's screening room, and no big IMAX, no 3D effects.
Yeah,
okay,
no
so
bells and whistles and lasers and. Yeah.
So Tom Holland still an absolute find as Spider-Man. This kid is a star. This kid is like when you first saw Hugh Jackman as Wolverine level of star. You're like, this is going to be a thing. I can tell this is going to be a thing, and he's got the moves. He's got the acting chops. He can pull this off. Robert Downey Jr. only has really 4 relatively brief scenes, but really makes an impact with them. It's not a show-stealing appearance. He's not lifting the film out.
It's not supposed to be, is it?
He's not.
Yeah.
He's not lifting it out from under Tom Holland.
But
And he's not showboating either.
He is definitely a presence in it, though.
Yeah. Laura Harrier, Zendaya, Marissa Tomei. There's a lot of great supporting cast members in this. But I think Michael Keaton as the Vulture. Wow, okay, loved this. I was a big fan of him. Like you said, he really seemed to be enjoying himself.
Definitely. It was weird, actually, because remember when news first broke that he was going to be in it, and then he dropped out?
He did, and dropped out, then he
and then he came back in, because there was something to do with money, and RDJ was getting RDJ money.
Exactly.
As he was
I
wanted to do.
feel like they just print him his own bills now with his own face.
With his own face, yeah, exactly. He gets to like the $200 bill, and it's just Tony Stark.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
In Stark we trust.
Yeah, clearly just having the time of his life, and such a refreshing take on a villain.
I never cared about our villain, to be honest, before. But
I've always liked Vulture, but I always thought we don't particularly need to see Vulture on screen. It was going to be John Malkovich at one point, was going to be Ben Kingsley at one point, and I think this is as good
this
cast as you're ever going to get. Yeah.
So the clever thing for me is, regarding the story, the clever thing for me is you've gone from the Sam Raimi ones, which were relatively stylistically faithful takes on the 60s comic books, to Amazing Spider-Man, which promised to be a sort of millennial internet era take on Spider-Man, and then really just became, let's just rehash what you've already seen, but we're doing it with Sony Ericsson phones now.
All the tech has gone slightly up.
We have the internet now, and we're just going to mention it occasionally. And with no regard whatsoever for whether or not the film's made any sense. I mean, the second Amazing Spider-Man is
and then there was a third act climactic sky battle thing. Superhero films.
So this, though, is actually more what The Amazing Spider-Man promised us ahead of time, which was it's more of a sort of Ultimate Spider-Man take, which is let's have an actual 15-year-old millennial Peter Parker. And Tom Holland, perfect for that, it turns out. He even really kind of looks like Ultimate Peter Parker.
Yeah, it does.
Very strange. He actually kind of physically looks like him. I don't mean just the hair. I mean, his actual face, he kind of looks like him. The story...
Well, that's not his actual face, you know that.
Oh, they've CGI'd it.
CGI. All CGI.
Yeah, totally. That's that Michael Douglas, Kurt Russell.
It's the Kurt Russell CGI magic.
Filter, yeah. But it really works. The take they've gone with here is something a lot breezier, a lot more, as you said, John Hughesy.
That's what we were selling on.
Oh, yeah, and it does work, and you can feel it throughout. There's lots of... It's strange in a way that it actually helps flesh out retroactively certain elements of the wider Marvel universe. For instance, the Battle of New York and everything
the way that it starts.
There is a moment, I won't go into specifics, in which one character, without a single word on the subject being spoken, is retroactively given a familial backstory that ties him into Captain America: The First Avenger. Did you catch it?
Yeah.
Yep, brilliantly. Love it. And it's one of those things that if you know, you can appreciate it. If you don't know, it won't bother you.
It'll just be a throwaway thing.
Just a throwaway thing. And for me, I was like, oh my God, brilliant. Because also great use of an actor I actually quite like to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, really loved it across the board. Can't wait to see more of this. Really can't. There's loads of stuff in there for the Spider-Man fans. If you're not a Spider-Man fan, I think it's a pretty good introduction into this world.
You can definitely enjoy it not being a massive... Because I'm not really a massive Spider-Man fan.
I grew up on series.
I did, but...
Aerosmith theme song included.
But because I love the bad guys.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why...
He has the best villains, doesn't he?
It's him and Batman.
Oh, yeah.
They have the best villains.
But you know what the best part is? Spidey brings with him. Spidey brings with him these villains into the MCU, which is going to be amazing.
So give me Mysterio and give me Kraven.
Oh,
right now.
You're not on this Kraven train as well.
Of course, I'm on the Kraven train.
All right. Okay.
I was the first passenger on the Kraven train. I've got a one-way ticket to Kraven Town.
Okay, so the point really in closing then is Sony expected Marvel to give them a hit movie. Marvel have taken it a step further and actually given them a good movie as well. And yeah, I'd say as far as business dealings go, that's the best result you could hope for.
With the latest film news and reviews, this is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
You're getting louder, these intros, huh? So, where to next, Mr. Allen?
We are going to go to Austin, Texas, and we're going to talk... Oh, look at your face. We're going to talk about Terrence Malick's new film.
We're going to talk about Terrence Malick's new film. You've got 4 hours.
Yeah, let's go see Spider-Man twice.
Exactly.
Let's do that. Okay. So, Song to Song.
Okay, so Song to Song, which stars Michael Fassbender, stars Ryan Gosling, stars Natalie Portman, stars Kate Mara.
Hell of a cast.
Stars Iggy Pop, stars Val Kilmer, stars Holly Hunter.
It's all going no. Oh, Holly Hunter's great.
Yeah, it's just got loads of these weird little cameos in it. I can't tell how much of it is improvised, actually.
Is Kevon Janae Wallace in it?
Kevon Janae Wallace is not in it, strangely.
Sadly.
But, and Kevon Janae Wallace did not get the child role in the next movie we're reviewing either, The Last Word, which actually I could see her playing. But anyway,
somebody get Kevon Janae Wallace to be in a Marvel film.
Yeah, come on, man, ask your agent. But Song to Song, which for the most part, because how do you plot synopsize a Terrence Malick film? It's kind of difficult. Seems to revolve largely around two couples. You've got the music mogul played by Michael Fassbender and his relationship with a waitress he picks up, played by Natalie Portman, and then you've got who's a teacher who's due to the harsh economic times has become a waitress, and then you've got Ryan Gosling and Kate Mara, who are aspiring lyricists who become friends with Michael Fassbender, and Mara begins an affair with Fassbender. And that's about the first 15 minutes, and then there's some concerts, and then Berenice Marlowe turns up, and there's a Kate Mara lesbian affair angle that goes on for about another 5 minutes in the second hour, and then I think Ryan Gosling pops back in at a point, and yeah, okay, here's a clip.
What can I get for you?
I have a condition.
Yes.
Can't be left alone for more than 5 minutes.
Can I get you something else?
I'd like to hear you sing.
Okay,
Elephant.
I got you.
Why? Why?
Because my boss.
Which other kids?
You can get me fired.
Yep, that's the plan.
Cute.
What do you like to do?
Oh, well, I was a teacher, but there's not many jobs around here.
What do you teach?
Kindergarten.
Oh, yeah. You like kids?
Yes, I do. It wouldn't be a very good job if I didn't like kids, would it?
Yeah, thrilling, isn't it, Kase?
Wow, that was like Spider-Man Homecoming levels of excitement. That was.
Yeah, it's pretty poor. It's not a particularly enjoyable film. The usual visual whimsy you get out of a Terrence Malick film, which is usually enough to save it, has now dissipated and given way to, what did you call it? Canted shots?
Canted angles, yeah, where it's a little bit off. Or, it's dipping to one side.
Partial fishbowl, fisheye
Partial
effect.
fishbowl, yeah.
Fishbowl.
Yeah. That wasn't in my band.
Partial fishbowl.
Partial fishbowl,
yeah. You said fistbowl.
I know. That was my second band.
That's the spin-off band. Yeah. That's the McFly to your Busted.
Absolutely, yeah.
But
there's some crazy cameos in this film.
Oh god, there really are.
Like I said, Iggy Pop is in it, Patti Smith, John Lydon, Florence Welch, all of the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
And the problem is the film isn't very good. It goes on for 2.5 hours, which is about 2 hours and 29 minutes too long. Nothing of consequence really happens. I know some people have tried to ascribe meaning to it, but believe me when I say this is not artsy film that's just... People are really, if anyone's singing the praises on this one, it's to make themselves seem clever. I consider myself a Terrence Malick fan. I'm one of the few people I know that genuinely enjoys
you are often a defender of the Colin Farrell one.
Yeah, the Pocahontas one.
Pocahontas yeah, absolutely.
With Colin Farrell and Christian Bale. I like that movie very much, but I know it's not given wide acclaim. But no, even I can't, in good conscience, tell anyone to watch this. Please stay clear. And they say the song remains the same. No, the song's gotten so much worse. This is a bad cover of an already awful track. So, give me some news, Mr. Allen.
Samuel L. Jackson.
What's he doing
AKA
now?
Sir Nicholas of Fury.
Oh, hang on. It's Wednesday, isn't it? So what film's he doing this week?
I feel like you're confusing him with The Rock.
They work about as regularly as each other.
Yeah, I would say so, yeah. So Nick Fury is allegedly going to be in Captain Marvel.
Yes,
which
I did
makes
hear
sense.
Well, he's going to reappear in the next 2 Avengers movies, so they're going to have to answer where he's been.
As per his contract.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, when was the last time we saw him?
We haven't seen him since Age of Ultron.
Was that really the last time?
Age of Ultron.
There's been like 20 films.
Which kind of ties into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because that's who gave him the helicarrier.
Yes.
But director Coulson supplied him with the refurbished helicarrier. Maria Hill was on board, and he saved the Sokovians. That's the last time we saw Nick Fury.
I keep like fantasy casting Captain Marvel for parts I don't even know are going to be in the film.
I'm wrong. That movie ends with he's at Avengers headquarters. So it's entirely possible that he's just been at head office for all these movies.
No, just doing paperwork.
He could literally have been doing paperwork.
Just playing with like an abacus.
Time. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep thinking of people that could be in this film for roles I don't even know may even exist or not. I want someone like Tom Hanks to be her dad.
Yes, someone like that.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that would work. Because we don't have Bill Paxton anymore, and also he has a Marvel character, so...
Yeah, well, he was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., was he not?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., he was Agent Garrett, the clairvoyant.
Well, Bill Pullman hasn't been in an MCU film.
Bill Pullman has not been in an MCU movie. This is an excellent fact.
No, and John Goodman hasn't.
True. Yeah, but we all know that John Goodman's got to play a villain, so...
No, I think John Goodman would be good to just be like a retired either army guy or naval guy.
Retired S.H.I.E.L.D. director or something.
That'd be amazing.
Retired S.H.I.E.L.D. higher up. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me talk about The Last Word then.
Okay.
Right. So this stars Shirley MacLaine and Amanda Seyfried. And this is a corker of a concept. So the idea is Shirley MacLaine is a wealthy retiree. She's a retired advertising exec. And she fills her time with minutiae, basically picking on her gardener and being fussy about everything. And one day she has an accidental overdose because she combines too much alcohol with too many pills. And I'm trying to remember what's the term, how she describes it. But anyway, she survives this accidental overdose, and she starts looking into obituaries, and she finds herself looking into the obituaries of all her old socialite friends, and she realises they're all written in exactly the same way. They're all given the same structure. They all say the same kind of platitudes, and they don't acknowledge the faults and the flaws of the actual person. So she tracks down the writer, who's a journalist played by Amanda Seyfried, and she issues her a challenge, which is to get to know her and write her a decent obituary in advance. And of course, what then starts out as this odd couple style pairing between the misanthrope and the wide-eyed young reporter soon grows into a relationship of more mutual respect that will, of course, redefine both of their lives. We have a clip.
Now, I have determined there are 4 essential elements to a really great obituary.
Is that right?
That's right. 1, the deceased should be loved by their families.
Right.
2, the deceased should be admired by their co-workers.
I know.
3, the deceased must have touched someone's life unexpectedly. And if said person was a minority or a cripple, so much the better.
Okay, and the 4th?
And the 4th... That's the wild card. I do not know what my wild card is.
MacLaine and Seyfried there. Seyfried, yeah. So, right, this for the most part just about works for I think about the first half, really, and it's held together by Shirley MacLaine, who's still got the appeal. She's still got the screen appeal. She's still got that twinkle in her eye and that charm. She's Shirley MacLaine, darn it. The problem is that once the film requires anything more than sort of, amusing misanthropy, it all falls apart. I mean, by the time it gets to the sort of requisite road trip element, it's literally on a road to nowhere, and it just stops working. And this is the problem, because I was kind of invested for the first half because of Shirley MacLaine, and it just goes nowhere fast. It loses its way. Seyfried's kind of marginalised by a story that doesn't really give her a lot to do beyond being sort of the archetypical millennial writer. And to be honest, you can see the ending coming from about the first 2 minutes of the film. There's no surprise factor to it. There's no wow. There's no real investment. There's no particularly great character development. It's just come for the amusement of seeing Shirley MacLaine play a misanthrope, but please leave about the halfway mark.
With the latest film news and reviews, This is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
Come with me if you want to.
And we're back. So, two we've got to get through real quick in case. So, Tommy's Honour. Right,
Okay.
I'm going to do these as quickly as I can. Okay, so Tommy's Honour, which is directed by Jason Connery, would you believe? As in son of Sean.
No way.
Yeah,
Wow.
I didn't even know he was directing. Right.
I didn't know he had a son.
Well, I did know he had a son. I did know his name was Jason. I didn't know he was a director. So this is getting a wide release in Scotland and a limited release in the UK. And the idea is this is about golfing royalty. This is about Tommy Morris. So Tommy Morris Sr. and Tommy Morris Jr. Tommy Morris Sr. is played by Peter Mullen because a film can only be so Scottish before you have to have Peter Mullen in there. That's the rule. And Jack London plays the younger Tommy Morris. And the idea is it's the story of late 19th century, the first golf star, as it were, the first star golfer. You know, and this became a thing, and nowadays we have our Tiger Woods and we have our Rory McIlroy. But you know, this is before all that. So this is the story of how Tom Morris Jr. came up from being just the groundskeeper's son to becoming the biggest star in the world of golf before tragically passing, before his time. And really, that's it. And it's all about the relationship he forges with his future wife, played by Ophelia Lovibond, or as I call her, Lovely Bond. And of course, the relationship between her and his mother, and how he sought to turn golf from a game of the rich man to a game that actually rewarded its players instead of the rich men. We have a clip.
How old are you, Tommy Morris?
How old do you think I am?
I'm 28 years old. Best find yourself a schoolgirl.
Do you know what I love most about golfing? No. There are times when you've no hope of a shot, you've got no chance, it's impossible, but you try it anyway. You put everything that you've got into that shot, and then you just see where it goes.
Jack London there with Ophelia Lovely Bond. And, right, so, I mean, on the surface, this is quite a televisual affair. I mean, it does have that sort of made-for-TV Lifetime biopic kind of a feel. I can understand. I mean, I'm completely unfamiliar with the subject matter. I don't know of Tommy Morris. I've played a bit of golf in my time, but not really big on the lineage. And I say Tommy Morris Sr. is generally regarded as the father of golf. The founder of what we perceive now to be the modern game of golf. Peter Mullen plays that fantastically, and Peter Mullen is the star of this film. He's not the central character, he's arguably a supporting, but he is the outright show stealer here.
Yeah, well, it's classic Peter Mullen, isn't it?
Classic Peter Mullen, you know. I feel like Peter Mullen I feel like he should just get the Rocky statue. You know, in the centre of Edinburgh is just a statue of Peter Mullen, both fists in the air.
Like a key to Edinburgh.
Yeah, that's what it is. But no, I think he's terrific. Jack London, I think, gives an able performance, likeable, earnest lead there. Ophelia Lovibond, I liked very much. I thought she was very good. It's quite witty. It's quite kind of sharply written, actually, for the heft of it. I mean, it's quite a lightweight film, but for the heft it's got, it actually is quite sharp, quite thoughtful. And I say I didn't know the story. I wasn't familiar with the subject matter overly, so you know, the story, it kind of went where I expected it to, but there was a few surprises along the way. I did like it. I thought Jason Connery has got surprising chops. If he went into television, he'd kill. He'd kill in TV because he'd be the upper end. But I think he's one of those lower rung film, higher end TV kind of caliber direction. I did really like it though. And Sam Neill turns up as a would-be antagonist.
That just makes the film 25% better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's got the Sam Neill effect.
He's kind of part of the 25%er club.
Exactly. The 20. I make all films 25% better.
Yeah, so. At least.
Give me some news then.
A little bit of news. So we've been talking about X-Men Dark Phoenix.
Yes.
Just started production. We're not particularly excited, but one thing might make us more excited. Evan Peters is definitely going to be part of the cast.
Oh, is he? Is he going to get that same scene again, is he?
He's probably going to get the scene for the third time.
That exact same scene where they just slow everything down and he runs.
Because it worked the first time, then it worked the second time. So why not the third time?
Question, it's going to be set in the 90s. Does that mean they're going to play Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba as the song this time when he's running around slow motion?
I hope so, but he's going to have like really long greasy hair and a flannel shirt.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's going to be. He's going to be
singing like Even Flow by Paul Jam.
Oh, it's going to be Smells Like Teen Spirit. That's going to be the song during the slow mo sequence. I've
never heard of that song. People talk about it.
It's a popular enough song. It's a niche song. It's a niche song by
it wasn't too big.
Seattle band. I'm not sure. I forget the name.
Alice in Chains.
Yeah, no, Stiltskin.
Fair enough.
But, okay, so Abacus, Small Enough to Jail, final review of the week. I can't even carry that one off.
I know.
Abacus, Small Enough to Jail. Interesting documentary about literally the only bank to be indicted after the financial collapse. And they happen to be, and this is what the film really goes for, they happen to be a bank who targeted Chinese customers. They're a family-run bank in Chinatown, the Abacus Bank, run by the 79-year-old Tommy Sung and his daughters. And the idea is that amongst their loan department was one corrupt guy. And he effectively he was fiddling the customers. He was caught. He was fired by the Sung family, and the Sung family then immediately got in touch with the regulatory bodies and told them. And what this started then was a wider investigation by Fannie Mae, as it's called, which is the slang for the financial body, which uncovered further corruption within the bank and led to a 5-year-long $10 million family legal battle for the family name itself. We have a clip.
This case is about exonerating our entire community, no matter what we do. Be it the little guy selling vegetables or a bank that's doing business. I told Mr. Sung, I'm glad they pick on you because you're a fighter.
Cyrus Vance just felt this is easier to attack, especially it's a family bank. But he doesn't realize Tom is not easy to be pushed around. And my girls, they're tough, smart, capable women, so courageous.
Right, I don't want to get too hung up on whether or not the point of view is true or whatever. Because it's neither here nor there. It's not for me to say. I mean, I personally, I thought it painted a very compelling story on the side of the Sungs, and the way they are depicted is kind of believable, but it's not for me to say that they're right and everyone else is wrong. Right. It is a very interesting story that I don't think you will have heard otherwise. I mean, had you heard of Abacus Bank before I mentioned it?
No, I had not.
Exactly. It is very interesting, and it does highlight the way that certain financial services function. It is interesting the way that it portrays certain racial attitudes on an institutional level in politics and government, and it does have compelling things to say on the matter. I say it's a tidy 90 minutes. It's bang on 90 minutes. It is an intriguing documentary. There's nothing inherently cinematic about it. It does feel like the kind of thing you would catch on BBC 4, for instance, on a weeknight. BBC 4, 9 o'clock, that kind of thing. But if you do get a chance to see it, do definitely. It's destined for streaming services, like absolutely destined for streaming services. But if you do get the chance to see it, it's like Sour Grapes. Watch it. It's really fascinating.
Yeah,
did you watch
really
Sour Grapes?
Yeah.
I loved Sour Grapes. But definitely do check it out. It is a very interesting story that it is worth hearing for yourself. But that's the end of our radio edit this week. Wraps it up. So we should plug all the competitions further, because we can go along to onscreenfilm.com, enter the competition.
We've got about 20 competitions, haven't we?
About 20, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So Zip and Zap, the Marble Gang, you can win that on DVD. You can win Hidden Figures. You can win what's the other one? Age of Shadows.
And then the pop-up tickets,
and
pop-up screening tickets.
Pop-up screens.
If you live near Back There, London.
If you're near that London, although it's a good day out. Pop to London, sit on a green.
Well, it's not, is it? 'Cause it's in London.
You say I love London.
I know you do. I know that I'm in the minority.
Isn't your wife from Essex?
Yeah, but don't say it out loud.
Okay, all right. My dog's from Essex. I can't judge.
Are you comparing your dog to my wife?
No, I'm just saying the woman I love.
To which your girlfriend will hear this and then probably leave you.
Probably leave me, yeah. Right. So next week, some interesting stuff to come. Next week, I believe we've got some chimps to deal with.
War for the Planet of Chimp Monkey Things.
War for the Planet of the Chimps.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the same gravitas.
It doesn't know. And they are their apes.
They're apes.
They're apes, yeah.
We've got The Beguiled next week.
I can't wait.
I can't wait for that either. And that's Colin Farrell and Kirsten Dunst.
Nicole Kidman. Dakota Fanning? Or was it Elle Fanning?
Elle Fanning.
One of the Fannings.
One of the Fannings.
Yeah. I'm not a big Fanning fan.
You're not a big Fanning fan? We've got the documentary David Lynch, The Art of Life next week.
Yeah,
Looking forward to that. you think he mentions Twin Peaks, the revival in it?
I think he will, and I think he'll sound crazy as well.
Oh, quite possibly.
Yeah.
With his wacky hair.
His crazy high-pitched voice, it'll sound like this.
We've got the death of Louis XIV, of which I confess I know very little, except for the fact that it clearly portrays the death of Louis XIV. Which
it's kind of like a Ron Seal does what it says on the tin.
Yeah, kind of.
Deal. Yeah.
And of course, because there was such financial demand for it, the Cars are back for Cars 3.
Merchandising sells.
Oh, it really does. It was still Pixar's biggest earner, Cars.
Yes, it is.
Because of toy sales.
But you know what? I am hearing fairly decent things.
I'm hearing very good things as well.
People saying it's better than number 2, which is quite a low bar.
Really? It's like saying we're making a sequel to Ultraviolet, but don't worry, we'll beat the first one. Yeah. So we've got all those to come and more next week off screen. Don't forget to check out the podcast edition in the meanwhile. This has been a Candy Store production for On Screen. I've been Van Connor.
I've been Spider-Man.
And we'll be back.
Just show me the way to get out of here, and I'll be on my way.
You've been listening to Offscreen. For more news and reviews, visit onscreenfilm.com.
Now it's part of the podcast with extra bits.
Extra bits?
Extra bits.
One might say podcast extras.
One might. I chose not to because that was too simple and too straightforward.
Too straightforward, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about the convolutedness.
Convolutedness.
Yeah, which isn't a word, but I've just said it, so now,
that's fair,
now it's a word.
Okay. So we're not alone.
We are not alone.
We are not alone.
Yeah, I feel we should play the classic hours music now. Dun, 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 dun.
So please introduce yourself to the world.
All right. Hi, I'm Chris. I'm a bit of a film idiot, but I'm here anyway today.
You're here anyway, so yeah.
Hi.
You've never done this before, have you, Chris?
No,
Alex has. Alex has joined us before, hasn't he?
Alex
has joined us.
Chris is my friend from down south and now up here.
You say down south.
Yeah, you are from here.
Native northerner, disappeared for 10 years, came back unexpectedly.
There you
go. Yeah.
So what's left in the film news, Mr. Allen?
So, do you know that Fox like to keep Marvel properties? We're just like, we've got these and we're not going to do a Sony.
No, we're not doing anything with them. No.
They've placed some dates for films that we don't know what they are yet.
Just one or two.
Let's wildly, well, actually no, 6. 6 dates.
So 6 films. We have no idea what they are. We don't care.
Let's wildly speculate.
So, New Mutants 2 and 3, I'd imagine.
Yeah, probably Deadpool 3.
Deadpool 3.
X-Force.
X-Force, yeah. There'll be an X-Men prequel 5 in there. 5, I'd imagine. There.
Because we can't just let it end.
No. God
too
forbid.
much of a moneymaker.
Yeah. Did you enjoy X-Men Apocalypse?
Which one? Oh, it was all right. It was all right.
I feel like when someone's got to say all right like that twice, it wasn't all right.
Yeah, I feel like they're being charitable now.
I think it was because they included stuff which didn't necessarily need to be in there, like we saw Phoenix back in the
true.
Right at the end, which again I don't think they should have put in. It was too young for a told Jean Grey to be showing that. To be fair,
I guess we're focused on like younger members. I'm fine with that. That's cool, but I thought Sophie Turner was terrible in it.
Oh, I know. There was no character. There was absolutely no character, no. But no, well, I mean, it's Fox, you know. They'll keep riding this train straight into the ground. So
yeah. Speaking of,
go on.
There is rumour that James Bond is going to spin out into a shared universe. Because of course.
Because I mean, I personally have always wanted to see M the movie, in which Joseph in which Joseph Ray Fiennes, not Joseph Fiennes, in which Ray Fiennes
That'd be a twist. He was his brother the whole time.
Yeah, Ray Fiennes simply deals with bureaucracy for 2 hours. That's really
he's sat at a desk and
does some paperwork.
Q designs some gadgets, but they're not really very interesting.
That's the setup for the Q spin-off as well. This sort of Q spin-off that way, in which Q goes undercover at a tech conference,
because it'll blend in perfectly.
So that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. No, it'll be Q giving a TED talk.
There's a terrorist threat on the TED talk. Not only Q can stop it.
By talking for an hour.
Q has to distract everyone whilst 009 or whoever stops them in the crowd.
Yeah, who would you cast as 009?
009? Oh, well, let me think.
He's got to be someone less charismatic than Daniel Craig, so think hard.
Who's the dude that played Jarvis in Agent Carter?
You
know what I mean?
And the guy that's
the one who's not Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, and he's in Cloud Atlas and Jupiter's Ascending.
Yeah.
Another Wachowski's.
You know how I mean?
Well.
Not Benedict Cumberbatch, him.
He is Benedict Cumberlight, isn't he?
He is. Benedict.
Yeah. He's like the Logan Marshall to Tom Hardy.
Benedict Cumberhandful rather than Batch.
Benedict Cumberfew.
Cumberfew, yeah, Cumberfew. No,
I will find it out whilst you tell me about this film.
American Hero.
That's the one.
Right.
I'm not looking forward to it. I've heard terrible things.
Do you know who directed it?
Is it just Stephen Dorff?
No, you're going to love this.
Who's it?
Right. It's directed, would you believe, by Nick Love. Really? Huh. And it's been around for about 3 years. Why it's suddenly getting a release? It stars Stephen Dorff and Eddie Griffith.
Yes.
Yeah. So the idea is that Stephen Dorff is Melvin. He is just a guy, just a sort of layabout in New Orleans.
What was I? Sorry, just to stop things for a second.
Yeah.
What was I about to look up?
Who Benedict Cumberfew is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Proceed. Thank you. Now that I'm allowed. So the idea is Stephen Dorff is a superhero. He has superpowers. He has the ability to telekinetically move objects.
Right.
But he is basically an alcoholic, degenerate loser who's in the middle of a custody battle and kind of just drinks, passes out on street corners, things like that. And this is all shot in a mockumentary style. So characters talk to camera, and it's all about his redemptive arc as he discovers how to be a hero / vigilante. So it kind of sounds a little bit like Hancock in one regard.
In a way, yeah.
But right, we have a clip that'll set the quality level for you.
Oxycontin. Semi-synthetic, slow-release painkiller, first synthesized by eminent pharmacologist Freund and Speyer in Germany in 1916. I'm a fan. Now I'm gonna show you some crime scenes. Third story up, I knew these guys were robbing the place. Their car was sitting here, engine running. These two knuckleheads jump down, they're jamming to their car. They spot me, one guy comes at me, crack! I put him over the hood. Next guy starts waving some screwdriver at me. Relieved him of that, put him down. Done.
This sounds terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Remember when Stephen Dorff was a thing?
Yeah.
I mean, are you old enough to remember when Stephen Dorff was a thing?
How old do you think I am?
Really, like 23, 24?
Oh my god, thank you. No. I'm actually 56.
But,
yeah, I also remember him from somewhere. I think that was probably the last stuff.
That's the thing. You remember him from his Millennium kind of era stuff.
Immortals, he's in.
Well, that's the thing. Right, you're talking about
Blade. I remember him from Blade.
Well, exactly.
Yeah,
when I think of Stephen Dorff, I think about when he was actually popular. The reason we still have to tolerate him because he was the Generation X star. He was the star when Generation X became a thing, and we got Winona Ryder. We also got Stephen Dorff. And you wound up with him in basically indie films, New York loft-based films of the early 90s, basically.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when he got to star in Blade, that was his big breakout. And he's pretty much been direct to DVD now in recent years. And you kind of see why in this film, because any charisma he had has long since been, cast aside by the ravages of middle age. The film isn't particularly interesting. The film doesn't have an awful lot to do. It feels very subpar. It feels like it's made in New Orleans purely for tax relief purposes. And really, you come away thinking, that was 90 minutes I really could have spent doing my laundry. And that would have been more productive.
There is an actor in this called Bill Billions.
Bill Billions.
That's a great name.
That really is, isn't it?
That's incredible.
It's who's Mads Mikkelsen's? Not Mads Mikkelsen's. Whose brother is it? Whose name we find hilarious? I can never remember.
It is Vincent Cassel.
Vincent Cassel. What's his Rusty Squats? Rusty Squats. There we are.
Vincent Cassel has a brother named Rusty Squats.
Wow,
true story.
That's quite interesting.
I mean, that's not a birth name, is it?
No,
that's a chosen.
It's not like Mr. and Mrs. Squats, what are we going to christen him out? No, Rusty.
Oh, so is that his dirty Friday night name? Yeah, the one that his family doesn't know about, but his friends do.
Yeah, definitely.
His dirty Friday night name. That's his Tinder username. That's what it is. His Tinder username is Rusty.
He's not going to
likes.
Rusty Squat, 39.
He's not going to get any right swipes with that name, though.
No. Well, I don't know. I mean, it'll attract a certain kind of audience, I'd imagine.
Exactly, quite like a secular.
Yeah, he's a Tinder guy, not a Bumble guy, if you know what I mean. But,
what is Bumble?
Bumble's slightly more market, really, isn't it?
Wouldn't know. And I miss the whole Tinder boom as well. Which I feel a bit sad about because I enjoy living vicariously through my single friends.
Well, you see, right? Okay, so friends of ours who you've met, by the way, I won't name them.
I'll probably be able to guess.
Right. There are a couple, and when we first met them, they said, "Oh, we met on Tinder," before it got weird. We're like, okay, and they met as for an actual relationship on Tinder, I was like, I don't think you understand what Tinder's for. And they
there is
both,
one purpose of Tinder.
Exactly. They seem to believe that that's the purpose that it has is a recent thing.
Yeah.
I've always used it to start my campfires. It's quite useful for that reason.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Give me some film news, Case, please.
I don't know if I can move on from that.
No, that's a difficult act to follow.
I've got a few things to talk about. So, Wonder Woman has now passed Batman v Superman to become the highest-grossing DCEU movie.
It's not surprising.
It's not surprising and completely deserved.
Saying that Wonder Woman has surpassed Batman v Superman is pretty much an easy buy, really.
It's an easy win, but it's worth talking about anyway because it's great. Have you not seen it? Have you?
I have seen it.
Oh, you have?
Admittedly, it was not legit. It wasn't
less
paid
than
for.
legit.
Put it that way.
Less than legit.
Which kind of took away from the whole kind of experience, really. I couldn't really get into it.
That's fair. Well, I'm sure you can watch it in more legit means.
I'd like to. Yeah. But one thing I did notice, there wasn't too much overhype. Whereas Batman vs Superman, a lot of people expected big things, and they didn't get it. So I'm not surprised, really. I think they undersold it from their marketing, really.
And that's not going to happen for the sequel.
No.
I think with the sequel, it's going to have all the press for.
Do you think they'll go? Do you think they'll go full Winter Soldier for the sequel, and just modern day and contemporise it, or do you think they'll just do another period piece in a different time?
She's got an idea for a period, so I would suggest that it's not modern day.
Okay,
and I'd be cool with it being another period.
Oh, Wonder Woman in the '60s, height of the free love, sexual boom.
I want a similar kind of film to Winter Soldier. I want like an espionage kind of a deal.
I want Felix Faust. That's what I want. I want Gods and Monsters Felix Faust.
And who do you want to play Felix Faust?
John Rhys Davis, who a couple hours ago I actually thought was dead. And
he's not. He's alive. We've got confirmation.
He's alive. And both of us have met him. I didn't realise this.
I think that should be a segment on the show where, because we unfortunately talk about a lot of people that have died. So we should just say...
new segment, who's not dead?
Yeah, who is alive? Who's alive this week?
Who is alive this week? Sadly, still Russell Brand and Miles Teller.
It'd be like the Nevermind Buzzcocks, Mark Lamar thing, where it's just
tragically still with us.
Yeah, Elton John is still here.
We do that on the memoriam bit every year, don't we?
Do we have Shia LaBeouf?
I think we do. Yeah.
Do you know what his name translates to?
What, Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah,
Shia LaBeouf, afraid of being naked.
No, it translates to praise be to the beef.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. To the beef. Yeah.
Oh, do you know what I discovered? Here's an interesting thing I discovered this last week. Right.
Is it more interesting than that? 'Cause that's
over the course of his career, right, which consists of 91 titles, right, including an upcoming TV series called Rain. Keanu Reeves has played a character, and this is including sequels.
Yes,
right,
I know this.
Right, in terms of unique characters. Keanu Reeves has played a character named John 9 times. Now, when you factor in sequels and spin-offs as well, in which he has appeared, this accounts for exactly 20%, well, not exactly, but roughly 20% of his entire body of work.
That's a lot of Johns.
That's a lot of Johns. Now, bear in mind, I'm including Jonathans in that, but not Jacks. Because he's played a couple of Jacks.
He's played a couple of Jacks,
Now, Jack, in certain countries, is a shortening of Jonathan, so it could actually be more.
That's like the Hank Henry thing.
Well,
it really irritates me.
The end credits for Stargate, the movie, do credit Kurt Russell as Jonathan Jack O'Neill. So I've always wondered, in certain countries it applies, in some countries it doesn't.
Odd.
If you factor in Jack as well, it's more than 20%. But can you name most of those Johns? One of them is John Raines from the series Raines, which comes out later this year.
Obviously, John Wick.
John Wick, yeah.
1 and 2.
Uh-huh.
Does he play John in Chain Reaction?
No, I checked that. No, he doesn't. No,
why was the first one that I went to?
I know, I thought that because no one knows who he played.
Johnny Utah, obviously.
Johnny Utah,
so break, so that's free.
Yeah. Okay, there's a really easy one you've forgotten. Right? Don't IMDb it.
Speed?
No, it's Jack. Speed's
Jack.
Jack.
Is that Jack?
Yeah, it's Jack Traven. Jack Traven, I think his name is. Right. Jonathan Harker in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Of course, yeah.
John Constantine, you forgot.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
He was in Dracula.
What,
Bram Stoker's Dracula, yeah.
Yeah.
He literally says, whoa, at one point.
Yeah. The whole point he is in that is because he was young and hot.
Yeah, it was totally it. Yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola was literally like, we need a young hot guy.
Johnny Mnemonic.
That's what I was thinking of. I love Johnny Mnemonic as well.
If I say The Matrix, can you guess the next one? He plays a character named John in The Matrix. You
Neo? No.
No, Neo is not his name. John Anderson is his name.
Oh, that's a bit of a trick on her.
I thought it was
Not really.
Not really, because he said
There
Mr.
is a
Anderson.
Mr. Anderson is what he's constantly referred to by the villain.
I think if you ask most, like, if I was doing a quiz or something and I asked a question, I think a lot of people would say John.
Yeah, I think there's another Jonathan somewhere. I can't remember. But yeah, so there's 9 in total.
I did have one in my head, but I was about to say him, and I got...
There are 9 in total. I thought his Parenthood character was named John.
That's what I was thinking of. That's what I was going to say.
Sadly not.
That is one of my favourite films.
Yeah. But bear in mind, in playing John Anderson / Neo, he appears in about 5 titles because he's in all the Matrix movies and the video game and the animated spin-off as well. So he's that counts for a good chunk of his his IMDb.
Do you know what is a complete piece of film?
Go on.
Devil's Advocate.
Devil's Advocate. I really like that.
What is wrong with you?
I really like the Devil's Advocate. There is nothing wrong. I will sing the praises of the Devil's Advocate until the day I die.
There are several things wrong with it.
I like the Devil's Advocate.
My ovaries, Kevin.
Right.
My ovaries.
If I were ever a struggling actor, my audition piece would be the Al Pacino monologue from...
is it the bit where he says, hooah?
The Al Pacino monologue, the God likes to watch, is an absentee landlord. I don't know what I do. I become Frank's dad from Scrooged. $5 a veal.
I'm only 4.
My back hurts. I'm only 4. Merry
Get
Christmas,
a job.
Frankie Angel.
Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls. Right, I don't want to do a full review of it. We haven't got a clip anyway. Human Surge. No, Human Surge, which is really bad. Really bad. Right, it is an art film art film with a capital F. It is a film that takes place in it seems to cut between a third world factory and the home life of some of its employees who have a lucrative online evening business in which they perform acts of fellatio on webcam. And that is the movie. That is literally the movie. I couldn't tell if it's a documentary or a scripted piece because it's never made particularly clear. I think documentary because, it's really, really bad. It's not. It's staged so poorly, so uninterestingly. In fact, I tell you what I did. I actually took the extreme. I went to load up my Dropbox on my phone. I went to the extreme of making sure that I kept a copy of the press notes for this one, because they were genuinely more interesting than the actual film. And this is a film whose press notes genuinely include the term ethno-fiction. So, when you've gone to that extreme, you know the film you're about to watch is a turkey. So, hang on, I've
You can't even get any information from the film's IMDb.
You won't be able to.
It says a free country observation of the millennials in Argentina, Mozambique, and the Philippines.
Millennials. That's the thing, because they sold it to me as a millennial. Our intro was written before that. Can I just read you from this wonderful single page of A4, which laughably counts as its brass notes? Right, evoking aspects of ethno-fiction, it meanders and maps out. It really does meander. It meanders and maps out a physical and geographic network that is both in concert with and in contrast to our digital economy, structured in 3 parts with inventive relays between each section, one involving sex cams and another an equally mesmerising ant-hole. The film thrusts us into the lives of mainly young men in disparate parts of the world who are bored by their jobs, and I was bored by the film, to be fair, and seeking... I've lost the... Where was I? And seeking fulfilment elsewhere. I really did feel... You're yawning already. You're actually yawning
That yawn wasn't fake. Like, that
was a genuine yawn.
That was a genuine yawn.
Right, I was reading this paragraph here. I skipped 4 paragraphs to get to that. There was more bilge. There was even more bilge before that. Right, it is awful. It is just stay away. Just genuinely stay away.
Should we talk about the Oscars? Let's just move on.
Yeah, talk about the Oscars, man. Yeah.
This is your first time doing this, so whenever there's a point where I think that Van's either gonna bust an embolism or just have a heart attack, something's gonna happen because he's been ranting.
I have a vein right there.
He's got one of those bracelets, like an emergency bracelet that says when ranting about film, talk about something else.
We have made sure the emergency call function on my Apple Watch is set up. I can literally just double tap a button and paramedics will come.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about the Oscars. So they have invited new members.
They have,
to join the Academy, namely 774 new members, and we're going to name them all right now. because we've got time for that.
Right, this is the thing.
You want folk listening to this.
At the rate that they're including new members into the Academy, which I appreciate was done to address claims that they ignored diversity, but the rate they're inducting new members...
There's a lot.
Can it not just be a thing where when you sign a contract to star in your first big film, you also sign the agreement to by default to join the Academy?
It seems like it because there are people like Aaron Taylor-Johnson.
Yeah, it's like that idea that when you get your driver's license, you automatically become an organ donor. Should be like that, where as soon as you sign to star in your first big film, you automatically become a member of the Academy as well. But
we'll go for
Aaron Taylor-Johnson.
A few of the names. That was my first Really?
So the crap Quicksilver.
He's got a Golden Globe, I guess, which was the most. That was the weirdest part of Golden Globes this year. Yeah. You've got Mahershala Ali sat right there, being great.
I know.
And he won an Oscar, so it's all good.
Ming-Na Wen's in there.
Ming-Na Wen is. Donald Glover, Adam Driver, Armie the Hammer.
Armie Hammer has the ability to determine who wins Oscars. Now, just consider that for a moment. Armie Hammer.
I am going to give you a gentleman's bet
right
now that Armie Hammer is nominated next year.
Why?
I will be betting £10.
Isn't he in prison, though?
Armie Hammer?
Yeah.
Are you thinking of MC Hammer? Or?
No, after all that trouble.
No, he's actually a priest.
Oh, he's a priest now.
Oh, okay.
After all that trouble with Whiplash and Iron Man at the Expo, he was outed, wasn't he?
I just got it.
Oh, God.
Really?
Thank you.
Justin Hammer. Justin Hammer.
I get it.
Okay. That was really good. You had me going. Totally.
I understand what may be classified as a joke, I guess.
Okay. Hey, don't hate the player, man. Don't hate the player.
It's worth trying to at least be entertaining. Sorry.
You don't come onto this podcast to be entertaining. We don't do this to be entertaining.
No,
we've never been classified as
we do this to list 774 Academy members.
No, Armie Hammer's got a film called Call Me By My Name that's coming out next year. That is getting a lot of buzz.
Okay. Really?
Call Me By Your Name.
So this is like the buzz we had for Birth of a Nation.
That's like long enough to think about it.
Yeah. Well, I
almost forgettable.
I almost said Beasts of No Nation.
Did you?
Yeah.
Do you know who's in that?
Idris. No. Yeah. Go on.
No, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I confused it for a film with Come On, Johnny Horse.
Oh, okay. Oh, you think of Beasts of the Southern Wild.
Yeah, no, loads of really good people that we do like. Amy Poehler, John Hamm, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, because he's been in films.
He's been in Oscar-nominated films. Moana.
Yeah.
Did that win? Did that win Best Song?
No.
What won Best Song last year? Well, this year, sorry.
City of Stars. La La Land. And then animated film was... Why is that escaping me? Because I feel like it's something really obvious. Zootopia.
Okay, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, loads of people will loads of good directors. No, it is great though. Barry Jenkins, Jordan Peele.
Wait, hang on, it's great. Have you watched My Life as a Courgette now?
Yes.
Oh, you have? Did you love?
I did, of course I loved.
Of course you loved.
I feel like someone made me a film.
How did you watch that and not immediately text me gushing?
That's a good point, yeah.
I'm shocked. That's why I didn't think
I've not seen it, but I need to watch this year. Train to Busan.
Train to Busan is amazing. It's on. Yeah. Is that on Amazon Prime?
It is. And coincidentally, I got Amazon Prime this week.
Excellent. Well, you've got a Fire Stick, you've got a PlayStation. You're good.
Yeah. From the directors, David Mackenzie, amazing.
Yeah.
The Russos.
Oh, good. Okay.
Amazing. Guy Ritchie.
Hang on. Whoa. Hang on. So you make King Arthur Legend of the Sword.
Your boy.
Then
your boy Charlie Hunnam. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you're okay to help determine who deserves an Oscar. No.
Yeah. As does director of Academy Award-winning film Suicide Squad, David Ayer.
You're kidding me. Oh my god.
The Writer's Branch is pretty good though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's a pop-up on my MacBook. I've lost my page. Joss Whedon.
Okay, that's some
Eric Heiser, the guy that did Arrival. Taylor Sheridan.
Oh, I'm a big fan of Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah.
Hang on, you mean...
Lots of people were like...
So, hang on. There are cast members from Sons of Anarchy who are now members of the Academy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Ron Perlman. Exactly. I suppose Ron Perlman made the list.
Well, Warwick Davis is, so...
Warwick Davis is on that list?
That's mad. When was the last time you saw... I mean... He was in Rogue One, but...
When did I last see Warwick Davis? In that weird reality series he did with Carl Pilkington.
No, in a
Idiot Abroad.
Was he in...
There's one of the spin-offs. Life's Too Short.
In a film? This is a film show? Was he in Fantastic Beasts?
I think he is. I think he is in Fantastic Beasts. Yeah.
Riz Ahmed.
Okay. So speaking of, this is a film show. Please, isn't Mahershala Ali joining True Detective?
Allegedly, and if so, that is great. That is great. There's not been an official announcement, so he is in talks apparently.
Well, it wouldn't be his first TV show, would it?
No, he's been in Tremor and obviously House of Cards and
Luke Cage.
And
the place I first saw him, where his name was literally double the length, was the 4400.
Can you remember what his full name is?
Not at all. I know it was Mahershala. It was only the first half of his first
Mahershala is
name.
the shortened part of his full first name.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like Mahershala Albizaz.
Or something like Albazaz, yeah. Mahershala Albazaz, I think it was, something like that. But, when you used to watch the 4400, it was on the opening credits. This massively long name. And,
Call him Mike. It's quick. It's to the point.
Mike.
Well, I was wondering if people call him, like, Herschel for short.
Hirsch.
He doesn't look like a Herschel.
No?
Oh, he's a good sport in interviews, Mahershala Ali. He's actually a really good sport in interviews.
I was so happy when he won.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I believe that I texted you as soon as it happened.
I think you did, yes. You did.
At like 3 a.m.
Yeah, because I think I was in London at the time, asleep, waiting for press shows to start. But
I wanted you to know as soon as I did.
Well, I woke up to that, so that I actually heard from you before I heard the actual results. So, yeah, there's that. Right, okay, I need to talk about a change in the weather, which I confess I've not retained an awful lot of information. Quite a bland little affair. It's an improvised film, would you believe? Improvised by its cast. It's a British film which is filmed largely in the south of France, and it's not very good, to be honest.
I'm getting bad impression.
It's not terribly good. It's one of those films that you just sit there and think, actually, if you tightened this up, it could have been interesting. What it basically takes.
What's it about?
Right, it takes the form of a couple who've been married for decades, who they're developing a play and they're trying to get under the skin of their characters, and they've gone to their vacation home in the south of France. They've taken their friends with them, and it's basically them just fleshing out this play and at the same time coming to realizations about their personal life in the process. So relationships are formed, relationships are killed off, and this is the idea, and it's really badly shot. It is not awfully acted, but the improvised nature of it really does show through, because it's so scattershot, so flimsy, so frenetic, not in a good way, not in a Baby Driver kind of way, but just sort of an off-the-cuff thing that really it loses its subtext and its scope and spectacle due to the fact that really no one involved seems to have a goddamn clue what's going on half the time, and you really feel it. And in the words of Forrest Gump, that's all I got to say about that. So I think it'd be great if I could end every review with "That's all I have to say about that."
Why don't we just get a clip?
That's it.
Why don't we do that?
Or I'm going to end. I'm going to find like a mic dropping noise and end every review with "ban out, boom." But yeah, so I don't know what else is in the news then.
So I know you're excited about this.
I'm excited about a lot of things. Go on.
Chris Dyer, are you a fan of the film Deep Blue Sea?
I was. It's not aged well, but it's a guilty pleasure.
Do you think it's ready that we have a straight-to-TV sequel to Deep Blue Sea?
Oh, well.
But I'm hoping it's called Deeper Blue Sea.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why, you'll go for it?
Yeah, there's always enough crap on TV. It's always nice to see more. But
I wonder if we'll get Cool James back for it.
Right. Here's an interesting thing about this. Right. Apparently, it's going to star Michael Beach, who's I'm not terribly familiar with, to be honest. Although his name is Beach, and he's starring.
I was going to say, I feel like this is like Mark Webb,
Deep Blue Beach.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Anyway, right. So this is just going to basically be a rehash of the plot of the first one. It's going to be a scientist who's experimenting with bull sharks in this case.
Okay.
Which I can't help but feel is
that is complete bull shark.
Yeah, that's it. You feel like when it's awful, that was utter bull shark. Yeah,
that's great. This guy's in Sons of Gant. Oh, I know exactly who he is.
Who is he? Michael Beach is Colonel Ellis, isn't he, from Stargate?
Yep.
Yes, thank you.
There we are.
How did I forget that? Michael Beach is going to star in it, yeah. So it's going to be scientists experimenting on sharks, they get out, chaos ensues, the usual.
Yeah.
Right, here's where it gets interesting. 8 years ago, I don't know if you remember this, 8 years ago, Warner Brothers were developing their own direct-to-DVD Deep Blue Sea sequel, which was going to centre around the idea of genetically enhanced sharks who happened to have machine guns and rocket launchers built into them.
Wait, is this an Austin Powers spin-off?
No, this was something Warner Brothers were actually developing as Deep Blue Sea 2, and it was going to go direct to DVD, and that never happened, and now we have this instead. Can I just say, I preferred the other idea. I preferred the sharks with frickin' laser beams on their head idea.
How will they fire in water?
I don't know. Well, I mean, it'd be like that shot from Alien Resurrection with the grenade launcher in the water kind of thing.
So someone asked Michael Beach on Twitter about this upcoming sequel.
What were you thinking?
Well, we've just said, you in the Deep Blue Sea sequel? ? And then he said, David, I'm not allowed to say much, but I will tell you that people die by shark in this movie.
Look, all I'm saying is, if you can't get Kanye to do a cover of Deepest Bluest bracket Shark's Fin, then what are you doing? What are you doing it for? That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the only reason to ever revisit this.
Yeah, it's just to get a contemporary artist to cover.
What was the last film that Rennie Harlan made?
Oh, hang on, we reviewed it. We reviewed it, and it was awful.
Did he do Hercules? He did the Callum Lutz Hercules.
He did the Callum Lutz Hercules.
I can't remember anything.
But he did one, and I went ballistic about the fact that it was Rennie Harlan doing it because it was so unbelievably bad.
Rennie Harlan has done some of your favourite films.
Rennie Harlan directed Cliffhanger. He directed Die Hard 2. You didn't actually look at him.
He did that Johnny Knoxville Jackie Chan film.
Skip Trace. Oh, man, yeah, I remember that. Hang on, what was the one he directed recently? It was The Legend of... Oh, it must have been The Legend of Hercules.
Yeah, that is not good.
That's not good. And then he directed Skip Chase with Johnny Knoxville and Jackie Chan.
Cliffhanger is great, though.
Cliffhanger's great. 12 Rounds with John Cena. Big fan of that one.
Yeah.
Oh, Mindhunters, the unappreciated Christian Slater serial killer movie.
Can't remember that one.
Cutthroat Island. What a filmography this guy.
Of course, Rennie Harlan directed Deep Blue Sea. So, yeah. We forget that. Oh, The Long Kiss Goodnight.
I kind of love that film.
Yeah. That features my favourite moment that he saw something on TV that terrified him. So did I. It's called Baywatch Nights. But, man. Oh, The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. With
What's that?
Do you not remember that? That was that was the Andrew Dice Clay vehicle, where they tried to genuinely make a star out of Andrew Dice Clay.
He's going to be in Star Is Born, isn't he?
He is, yes.
That's the weirdest thing. Yeah, Bradley Cooper was at Glastonbury filming a scene for Star Is Born. He got on stage just before Chris Christopherson did like a fake song kind of thing, and then introduced Chris Christopherson, who was in the not the original, but one of the more famous versions.
Yes, he was in one of them, wasn't he? Was he in the Streisand version?
The Streisand one.
Yeah, he was in the Streisand version. Yeah.
Ugh. Andrew Dice Clay. Yeah.
Ugh. No,
just
I'm
noises,
not a fan of...
disapproving noises.
Hey!
Yeah, exactly. Are you looking forward to? This is a question to both of you. Look forward to Top Gun: Maverick.
No.
No.
Really. It doesn't need to exist.
I hope that people do call it Maverick.
Maverick. Yeah. I'm an indigestion rebel. That's what that is.
That's your tagline right there.
I'm a digestive rebel. That's what that is.
That has a release date now, 12th of July 2019.
Oh, yeah.
And Joseph Kosinski is going to be directing it. And I wish I could
That's official. I mean, that's the most exciting thing to me is Joseph Kosinski's doing it. That's genuinely the most exciting
I do like him. I enjoyed Oblivion, and I'm not feeling Tom Cruise right now.
You know who I am quite excited for with this news, though?
Who's that?
Jeremy Renner. Because I'm sure Jeremy Renner is just waiting by the phone for the phone call where they cast him as the sidekick for a potential threequel.
Yeah,
but of course Tom Cruise will then return for.
He will get killed off.
Yeah, that's it. He'll just keep coming back, and and Tom Cruise will keep coming back and spoiling Jeremy Renner's fun because that's what happens. Yeah. But
we watched the trailer for American Made today.
Oh right, I watched it the other week. Yeah,
yeah. Why is he? He's constantly like starring opposite ladies, but could be his daughter.
Yes, he is. Yeah. I mean, I call it living the dream, but
of course, most of them are taller than him anyway. So
that's a good point.
Well, look at Robert Downey Jr. The guy's 52. So
how old is his wife in real life?
His wife in real life, she's in her 40s.
Real life wife,
Susan Downey.
Susan Downey.
I think she's in her 40s, but a lovely looking woman.
But, super smart as well.
And super smart, yeah. Well, that's the thing. She evidently she was in the industry before she met him. So she was a producer, I think, before she met him. But, in the news, apparently the long-standing legal feud between Warner Brothers and the Tolkien estate has come to an end.
And how much money has Warner?
They've not said.
Have they not said?
But neither side has been made to pay costs. It's apparently a completely amicable agreement. And the thing is, this keeps happening. You see, every time Warner Brothers do something the Tolkiens don't like, they launch a lawsuit, and then Warner Brothers launch their own countersuit in which they claim loss of earnings. And in this case, it was because they put out online games and things like that without asking the Tolkien estate. And the Tolkien estate said, "No, this is against our agreement. You don't have the right to do this." And then Warner Brothers sued them and said, "Well, now you're stopping us from making money from online games and things." So yeah,
wow.
And the last time this happened and they resolved it, we then got the Hobbit trilogy. So God knows what we're getting this time around. The Silmarillion or something? Silmarillion,
yeah. I don't think the episodes are going to get made.
No, God, no. But Will Ferrell was asked about sequels to his movies.
Yes, and he's roundly said no.
To everything except Step Brothers.
Yeah, apart from Step Brothers.
He wanted Step Brothers.
Yeah.
If any sequel were to be made, I think Step Brothers was on his personal list.
I don't know. It's good enough. I think you should leave it alone. I do think we need a sequel to Old School, though. I would like to see a 15 years later version, take on Old School.
Work.
Yeah, older school, and because there were rumours when that film came out. There were rumours that we were going to get a sequel to Old School, and it was going to be about spring break. It was going to be about those guys going on spring break. But Old School ends in such an insular way that it closes off that story.
Unless they're talking about a different frat group within the same.
I don't know.
I want to see more of those characters, though.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I never thought I'd say these words out loud, but I really think we need Vince Vaughn back.
Somewhere in the world, Vince Vaughn has just woken up.
Vince Vaughn's woken up.
I need it.
Somewhere my fan base needs me.
Yeah. But assemble the average Joes.
Yeah. Nobody has ever said the words, "We need Vince Vaughn back." Vince Vaughn's parents, when he left home, never ever considered saying the words, "We need Vince Vaughn back."
Do you know that Vince Vaughn's siblings, their first names also start with a V?
Victor, I'm guessing, as well?
I think they're all girls, so it's like Veronica and
Veronica Vaughn.
Vicky and
that
kind of thing.
Fair. Okay, The Midwife, which is the last review we'll do this week.
Yes.
So, The Midwife, from French writer-director Martin Prevost, stars Catherine Deneuve. Catherine Deneuve is the former mistress of a deceased character who isn't in the story anymore, who comes back into the life of his daughter, who happens to be a midwife. So it's not just a clever title. And
you said about loads the other day.
I really did. Didn't I? Like last week, it was just everything was. It's not just a clever title. We used to have a lot of self-explanatory titles last week. Like The Man. And yes. a day in the life of Steve.
What all this is about?
Literally 12 hours with Steve. But the idea is Catherine Deneuve has discovered she has a terminal illness. She tries to reconnect with her former lover's daughter, and meanwhile, the former lover's daughter, the titular midwife, is made redundant from her position. Is forced to consider having a job at a baby factory, as she calls it, which is like a state-of-the-art 4,000 at a time birthing hospital. And she pursues a relationship with a man she meets working on the allotment next door to hers. Does this sound uninteresting?
What? I was already reading
exactly, yeah. It is pretty uninteresting, to be honest. The two performances in the lead, they do work. They are quite compelling. However, the material is so flimsy and so disconnected. There's about 4 storylines going off at once. Not one has anything to do with the other.
What was your favourite?
What was my favourite?
Yeah.
Really, the love story between allotment owners.
Wow.
Right, there's a sentence you don't hear every day.
Yeah, that is a romance for me.
I liked that allotment rom-com. Rom-dram, as it were.
Speaking of which, I saw a film Hampstead the other day.
Did you?
Which, that is a... Yeah, that is...
Was anyone cruising on the heath?
Brendan Gleeson.
Brendan Gleeson was cruising on the heath, was he?
Yeah. I didn't hate it.
Did you not hate it?
It was okay.
Well, it was the E1 movie, so we didn't get to the pressure of it. Have you heard they're altering the Pirates of the Caribbean ride?
Yes, because people got annoyed.
I think people are more annoyed now they're altering it.
Yeah.
Because it's disrespectful to history and the attitudes of the times, because apparently it's wrong to remove references to wenches and the purchasing of women. So...
It happened. It happened.
Yeah.
It happened,
Denying history, it's just...
Yeah, let's go and ask the Germans how denying history works out. What else we got this week, then?
I'm out.
You're out?
I'm out.
There's nothing else, then?
It's been a boring week.
It's been a pretty dull week.
It's been.
I feel like there's stuff left over from the end of last week that we just haven't covered. But
no, we were pretty conclusive.
Okay, I'm pulling up the list, and all I'm getting is reviews slating All Eyes on Me. Oh, Tyler Perry's going to play Oscar Michaud in a movie he's producing but not directing.
Who is Oscar Michaud?
Oscar Michaud was he's the first major black director who used to make films with all black casts, and we are talking about way back when this wasn't allowed. So he had to work outside the system. It's going to be an HBO film.
Actually.
And Tyler Perry.
It's going to be an HBO film.
It's going to be an HBO film.
That might actually be... It's really strange. Tyler Perry actually can be really good when he's not in a Tyler Perry film.
He can. Can I ask, by the way, because we haven't discussed it, did you watch the Jumanji trailer?
Yes,
I have.
Did you hate it or love it? Because I didn't mind it. I was kind of okay with it.
First time I watched it, I was really not on board, and I still hate that title. I don't think we need the "Welcome to the Jungle" subtitle. We don't.
Well, hasn't Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson already been in a film called Welcome to
Only in this country.
In this country, it was called The Rundown.
The Rundown, yeah. Well, actually, no, it's Welcome to the Jungle everywhere outside of the United States. Only in the United States it's called The Rundown.
I don't know why it's... maybe it was just like, I'm going to say that for when I reboot a 90s film everyone loves.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm sure that was the exact thing he was thinking.
Yeah, so like I said, first time I saw it, I wasn't particularly sold on it. Second time I watched the international trailer, and that had more things.
That had more Karen Gillan, did it?
More Rhys Darby.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know who's in it. So, Bushman, man the bush, Bushman.
Yeah, exactly. So I am on board for it, but tentatively.
Okay. Before we close, though, because this is my favourite story of the last week. So Tom Holland did an interview because he's doing a few of those at the minute. He's got that indie film out. Have you heard?
Oh, Phil Spiderman.
Phil Spiderman. Yeah. Pete Spiderman. Right. So he's doing promotion for his indie movie, Pete Spiderman's Return Home, and. But apparently he has a real problem with secrecy.
Yes.
Right. Apparently, if you hand him any piece of information, he is unable to keep it to himself. He will just blurt it out to the first person they see. So, when he turned up to film Avengers Infinity War, they only gave him the pages he was on. Purposefully because he keeps going to into interviews and then spilling the beans. So
he is new at this, bro.
He's new at this. He's new at this.
He's excited.
He is excited.
Do you know what? If I were 20 years old and I looked like Tom Holland and I had the money he must have gotten for Spider-Man and I was Spider-Man, I'd be pretty excited as well. I'd
living life.
Jumping around, climbing on the walls. It'd be brilliant.
Oh, I'd be aroused 24 hours a day. I really would.
Watched by the situation you find yourself in.
Just by the situation I was in. I'd just be, I'm just pitching a tent the whole time. But
you won't be able to wear the suit because
it would be a very different Spider-Man.
Yeah, it would.
Very different, very R-rated Spider-Man. Put it that way.
And MCU aren't doing R-rated films.
You aren't doing R-rated films? I'd be screwed. But apparently he did an interview in which he I said, what I really want to do next, I want to do one of those Marvel one-shots with Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. So, because Kevin Feige's bringing us back. Oops, I wasn't supposed to say that. And you sit there and go, wow. Okay, yeah, this is going to be really fun having him as Spider-Man. This is going to be amazing, no pun intended. But it's going to be great having him. It's going to be spectacular having him as Spider-Man.
It's going to be the ultimate.
It's going to be the ultimate, the ultimate.
Poor Kevin Feige. It's like we said last week, every time something like this happens, we just need to play the Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Totally the case. Yeah. But, so Tom Holland, it looks like he's going to be very fun to listen to. I mean, we all need to get him on Twitter, because that's apparently where all our MCU news is coming from, and
him and the horse's mouth it is Amy Pascal.
Oh god, yeah, because I can't wait. Amy Pascal, she's the gift that keeps on giving, because this week we're in the same reality.
We're in the comic universe.
Well, no, the comic universe was last week. It's since changed to
now.
They're in the same reality. Yeah, which is basically like saying that Wayne's World and Citizen Kane are in the same reality.
She said they were adjunct.
Oh, that one got shot down shot down with comic universe, didn't it?
Yeah.
And who knows? I feel like,
how is she still in a job?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Legacy.
Well, it's not like she's descended from Louis Pascal or anything.
Well, that's true. That we know of.
Bit of a step down. Louis Pascal's descendant is, the chick who produces Spider-Man. Really doing the family name proud there. Rather than going into the next pioneering medical field. But I don't know. Anyway, so come on, cue us up.
Here it is, your moment of
Cage.
Boy, this bourbon, I haven't had bourbon in a while.
Scotch. We pulled out the Scotch for you.
Scotch. Okay, there you go. I haven't had bourbon in a while.